Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of Cnetv interview program where we invite innovators, stakeholders, influencers in the blockchain, crypto, and fintech ecosystem to come and their view. So today we are going to be looking at an interesting topic that we have here. Is blockchain for the future? So let's look at blockchain for the future. See if blockchain is actually going to stand the test of time. This ecosystem is infant stage, and whenever we talk about blockchain technology, what many people look towards is cryptocurrency. So these are more we're going to be looking at this conversation very well. He's the founder of Blockchain Zoo. You are welcome, Roberto.
Hello there. Thank you for having me here. And you said my name correctly, so that's good.
So that should be an Italian name, right?
It's correct, Roberto Capodieci. But it sounds good in many languages, so that's international name.
Oh. Okay, thank you. It's our pleasure having you. So we'll be looking at blockchain. Is blockchain for the future? So before we delve into that conversation, I would like to get a brief about yourself and your background.
Sure, I am into decentralization since many years, since before blockchain, when BitTorrent was the protocol that I was trying to hack to make a decentralized file system. And obviously it has brought me into blockchain from the early days. And I always try to use blockchain for something else besides cryptocurrencies. So to do projects that are not looking to the financial aspect, but to, for example, documentation flow, titles, title transfer. So we really did explore what is now NFT in the face of everybody many years ago.
I mean, into this ecosystem is amazing. So just let's look at what can you say about blockchain for governance and other non-financial use? Like we said earlier, everything blockchain, whenever blockchain is mentioned, I think is cryptocurrency. So what are other importance of blockchain? What role do you think it will play in governance and also other non-financial sectors?
The non-financial use of a decentralized platform using blockchain as the main technology today is a very important tool. There are a few aspects that need to be considered. First of all, the technology, most of the blockchain now use consensus mechanics to secure the blockchain. The aspect of finances, how much it costs an attack. So the paradigm need to change when a blockchain is used for decentralizing governance, for decentralizing GovTech, RegTech, InsurTech, etc., things that are not related to coin value. Important technology is still in its infancy, but is going to find a lot of space to go and fill those empty that there are now, because we still depends on humans, so we depends on office hour, we depends on people being there and helping us process aspect of our life in paperwork and many other things, and we depends on a third party. So when these things can be moved, and I don't need to wait anybody to send an NFT to another person, for example. So I will be able to process paperwork, bureaucracy, also in the weekend, at nighttime, and directly from a person to another. This is an amazing revolution that can happen.
Let's look at not actually at blockchain as cryptocurrency. Let's look at blockchain. What role do you think it will play, most especially in the trade aspect of it? Let's look at trade, most especially international trade. What role do you think blockchain can play in that sector?
Yeah, for example, that's a very interesting question. We worked in 2014, 2015 on a project like this, blockchain based, using NXT, like next to the blockchain, first proof of stake blockchain existing back then, to manage all the bill of lading and the letter of credit documentation flow, because the most common technology between many different countries still paper and pen. And when people need to trust a third party, they need to belong in one country and another to be the place where data are saved. And legally, this is not allowed in many countries. While using a decentralized system, each country, each office participant to the full chain of participant in the trade, for example, can run their own server, and yet to be assured that the processes taking places are respected by everybody, simply because a blockchain transaction is rejected if it doesn't respect the rules that are set there. An example in Bitcoin, I cannot send 10 Bitcoin to somebody if I don't have a balance of this 10 Bitcoin. This is a rule that is written in the blockchain. If I can, for example, fill up a form and process a form, and the rule on what this data in the form need to be respected, or some document that accompany signed by a chamber of commerce for the origin, etc., then I am assured that the documentation that arrived to me, whatever country I am, has respected those rules, because the blockchain respected the transaction. So in this way, we have a lot of people that can make mistakes to check documentation, etc., and we accelerate the flow of all the paperwork related, for example, to international trade, as you were mentioning.
The coin interview session with Roberto Capodieci. Very nice conversation it is. We're going to be going for a short break. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's the Coin News Extra TV interview session. So today we are talking about is blockchain for the future. Joining me is Roberto Capodieci, who is a founder of Blockchain Zoo. So let's continue with the conversation. You founded Blockchain Zoo, which is for bringing jungle. That's so you said it. I saw that. Why did you come up with it? Blockchain Zoo.
Well, it's interesting because every time there is a new trend, a new hype around the world, there is a lot of risk for consumer. I remember, I'm old enough to remember when the first website came out and everybody needed to have a website without even understanding why they needed a website. And there were people selling website by the page, which didn't make any sense. With blockchain, the same thing is happening. Everybody needed to have the blockchain in their product because it's a good PR stand, even if they don't. And there are a lot of companies selling something without knowing what they're selling, creating a lot of trouble to the client, and sometimes not delivering even a decentralized platform. So the idea was to put all the consultant in cages, let the client to walk through in safety in this blockchain jungle, maybe throwing some token ERC20 to the developers in the meanwhile, and being safe into making the choice of approaching this technology in a safer way, and that's what we deliver in front of our clients.
Before we draw the curtain on today's episode of, I have one more question here. Do you think blockchain?
I do believe this, that we are in the information era, right? We start digitizing things, going from digital with the vinyl to the CD, with the photography from the classic photo. Then we start transmitting this data. We start purchasing services in a centralized manner. And now blockchain brings the biggest revolution, because in the digital world can create a singularity, unicity. Before, I can make a copy of an MP3 file, give it to 5 friends, and we don't know which is the original anymore because they're identical copies. But I cannot make a copy of my Bitcoin and give it to other people. In this case, in a digital world, I have an asset that is unique. With NFT, this is what gave the space for people to understand that I can have a unique piece that is digital, right? And I am the owner of it. So with this revolution, we start moving toward the possibility to decentralize, and is part of the evolution of the information era, and is one of the last stages. We are at the early moments, but it's going to last a good 10 more years at least be there. But think about metaverse, where people need to bring their own identity around between a virtual world to another. Only the centralized platform like a blockchain can give the singularity of their identity, the color of their hair, rather than how much money they have to spend, and etc. So we are moving the direction, and we are adopting this idea of me controlling my assets. So there are a lot of revolution that is going to happen in social media, in storage of data, rather than how we interact that the centralized manner. So yes, we are at the early day. There is a lot to do, and a lot we're gonna do as well in the future.
Thank you very much. We see the revolution coming already in different sectors. Thank you. Amazing conversation. It has really been with you, Roberto Capodieci, our founder Blockchain Zoo. On the topic is blockchain for the future. Thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.